For one of the investors shut out of the property market by stifling house prices, buying a cut-price apartment for less instead could come with a silver lining. For around $200,000, you're back in the property game, welcomed in by a higher rent yield than house rentals and less maintenance work on your hands.
If strong rental returns are more important to you than strong capital growth, then it's always a good time to invest in apartments. For the first-time investor, apartments are probably a much more attractive form of investment now than they were even a year ago, for the simple reason that yields on those properties have been historically reasonably high and are continuing to increase, whereas freestanding residential dwellings are not only not increasing in value, but traditionally have quite low yields relative to what the property costs. It's a great time to buy if you're looking for a bargain. There are lots of people looking to get out of the property investment market, and there are stories of apartments in particular selling for 40, 50, even 60% less than the market valuation on those properties. So for somebody who's prepared to put the work in and do the diligence, there are some very good deals to be had.
The outlook is rosy. LJ Hooker says rents have increased by 8% in the past year. Buying an apartment is also a popular lifestyle choice with baby boomers. The kids have left home, so mum and dad sell up and live in town. But like everything, knowledge is power. So when it comes to finding that great apartment, whether you're investing or buying to live, there are a few simple rules.
When you're looking for an apartment, you have to really look at the size of it. Banks only lend on what they can see as a considerable non-risk. So in other words, you've got to have the over 50 square metres. Some banks do lend at 40 plus, but it's quite safe at about 50. And then you'll qualify for a loan. Otherwise, you'll be struggling to get the money off the banks.
And he should know Len Ormsby is an apartment consultant for LJ Hooker with 6 years' experience selling them. He currently has 4 apartments on his books.
Look, you've got to do your homework before you buy a unit. First of all, find out if it's a leaky building. And those issues would be in the body corporate minutes. But you can put your name up for a selection on the body corporate, and you fire out issues that you feel need to be addressed. And if you get the backing of the rest of the committee, you'll find those will be put in place.
But advice is to be careful out there. The blue chip scheme and subsequent liquidation of 19 related companies, leaving some investors stumped, is proof elaborate deals can be too good to be true. LJ Hooker says it's best to buy through a licensed real estate agent. If you do risk buying off the plans, make sure it's with a standard sale and purchase agreement. Your 10% deposit is kept in a trust account, like a safe halfway house. The developer doesn't get a cent until they provide the title and code of compliance from the council. Essentially, that's when the apartment is complete.
Now is a good time to buy it. You just got to be careful where you pick them. You've got to be selective. Now, to lease them out, you've got to make sure that at least the amount of money you're getting back is going to cover everything that you're paying for. So if there's a downturn in the economy and those rentals slip, say, 10%, you're 10% down at the end of the year with your outgoings, paying the mortgage, paying everything else. So if it doesn't work effectively for you, you're going to have to top that up.
Even so, the price is right with a higher rental yield. That's the annual rent as a percentage of your capital value. There are no statistics on median apartment prices, but entry level in Auckland City is currently as low as $200,000, less than half Auckland City's median house price for February. With apartments, your annual rent is 8 to 10% of the capital value. With house and land, it's usually less than 5%. The major downside is that it's much harder to borrow. Banks are concerned value will plummet, so you'll probably need to pay cash or front up with at least a 40% deposit. Unless you're like Kim Smith, who made a lifestyle choice to move from a house in Titirangi to an apartment in the city, and also chose to rent.
When my husband and I first moved to New Zealand, we thought that the bush lifestyle would be a great lifestyle. So we got a house in Titirangi, and we were happily living there for about 4 years. And we decided that we were both tired of the commutes. About 6 weeks later, we actually decided to move into town, and we started living here. It's given me about 3 hours back in my life a day. Coming from Titirangi, it could have taken up to an hour and a half commuting, depending on the time. And it's been amazing. I'm a 5-minute walk to work now, so I get a chance to do some of the other things that I love to do. I'm not stuck in traffic all the time, and it's just great. And I love the convenience of, if the dishwasher breaks, being able to call the landlord and say, fix that. If something goes wrong, just not even having to worry about taking care of it. So I've got a property manager managing my own investments. I want somebody to take care of the place that I live in as well. So it's great, best of both worlds. Every once in a while, I flirt with the idea of looking for apartments to buy. If a good deal comes along, I'll be right in there, but not sure that this is the right time, but I'm certainly kind of nosing around.
The last piece of advice that I would give to a potential apartment purchaser is be selective about what you purchase. If you've got a choice between a lakefront property and a property in a major urban centre in Auckland in the urban slums, then pick the lakefront property. You're going to be able to pick up a good deal, and in the long term, it's going to have a much better return than the properties in those slum areas.
More information on property investment, go to thetraders.co.nz, and the properties featured in tonight's show, go to ljhooker.co.nz for more details.